Granddad came and settled in this country years ago. There were others who had come as well, and most would have to know. There was no way one could get to pick the neighbor that one drew. And I have to say the tar boxes, they were a real tough crew. Even back in Grandpa's day, he'd battle with that cunning mob. And believe me, keeping up with old man Tarbox was a job. He was never one to stick to natural increases with stock. And that's how his herd had grown throughout those years upon his block. Whether cows and calves or horses, to that clan they had no shame. And for years now Tarbox and his kin had carried on this game. But there were the odd times I could say we gained the upper hand. And we found our stock before they had the chance to change the brand. When they mustered near our boundary, they would always force some stock over on our land, as that was their excuse to cross and dock some of our herd and then push them back, which took a lot of skill, but would always bring about half back a gesture of goodwill. So besides the daily chores we had of caring for our spread, we would have to keep our eyes about and stay a step ahead. And some days back I had noticed, though some horses went astray, that the boys and I had broken in a month ago today. They were spelling in a pasture near the foothills of the range, and I sensed foul play was on the cards, but that was nothing strange, as the paddock shared a boundary fence with our old mates next door. And I guess they couldn't help themselves, of that I'm pretty sure. We were searching along the fence line when a cry came from a hand, as he'd noticed in the distance on Tarbox's neighboring land a small column of smoke rising from a gully that had been fenced and hidden by tree branches so the rails could not be seen. We then crept along the gully's bank until we saw below old man Tarbox and his eldest son. And strike me, wouldn't you know, they were sitting drinking coffee and discussing how they planned they would sell them to a buyer after they had changed each brand. After waiting till they mounted and had ridden out of sight, we then dropped the rails and boundary fence, and much to our delight walked the horses back onto our land, though had in mind a ploy to upset the horse thieves' efforts, and this job we would enjoy. I remembered they'd culled mustangs near the range 12 months before, so collected piles of white bleached bones, though didn't mind the chore, as we'd spread them round the gully so the thieves would find them there. You might say it's compensation for those cunning thieving pair. We restrained the fence and took our time in walking that mob home to a pasture closer to the house where they could safely roam. And I couldn't help but snigger at the image in my mind of old Tarbox in that gully and the bones that he would find. We restrained the fence and took our time in walking that mob home to a pasture closer to the house where they could safely roam. And I couldn't help but snigger at the image in my mind of old Tarbox in that gully and the bones that he would find. And I couldn't help but snigger at the image in my mind of old Tarbox in that gully and the bones that he would find.